Sand King, not
Five
so much.
seconds remaining.
I think it.
Radiant team.
If
Also,
it's-
now you're talking.
I got you on screen. Everyone can see your
Okay,
beautiful
good.
face. Now, one of my monitors is completely your face. The other one is my face
Oh,
and yours. So,
can
just
you take a photo of that for me, please? I want to see what it looks like.
what your face. You can see it
No,
on.
like what your
Seconds
setup
remaining.
is. You know,
Oh,
like
okay.
they do end up going with a trim
Five
protector as
seconds
well. So
remaining.
I like the
the
call,
community.
yeah, because it's the Sand King fulfills a similar role than what the Dragon Knight did last game, but like you said, it doesn't provide push. That's really the only big thing. That's a good combo with the Hoodwink. We saw it at Gamers Galaxy. It's really strong. And then you got the Chain Protector, which you mentioned why it was good last game. You mentioned why it's good this game. I have no quarrels with it. I think now just maybe UDV might look for an easier way to take objectives, or maybe they might just feel like when TA comes online, that's all we need.
Yeah, I still do think you need something that's going to be able to make space, though, right? Like honestly, even seeing them go back into the Conquer wouldn't be the worst. You just lane it mid, right? And then Razor kind of sucks as a 3, so you're not going to lane that into a TA. Razor into a Sand King can be pretty good, but we've seen, the Hoodwink Lucifer, other than a couple of bushwhacks, he was pretty on point with being able to stop the aggression coming through. It's going to go a Tiny instead, so maybe just feeling like this Razor is going to be mid lane.
This Razor pick in both game one and game two drafts seems to be an issue for me with Patriots' lineup, because now you have a Razor Tiny, and I personally think Tiny is best suited as a position one. I know teams will play him as a two, and it'll look okay. I've seen people go 8-0 and Tiny still loses. We've also seen position four, mainly that's Nam and that runs it, and he plays the Tiny good, but also it feels a little bit lackluster.
I
So
think you got his nickname
10
wrong, by the way.
seconds remaining.
Rockman, sorry.
The
Um,
Rock.
the Rock.
5
Apologies.
seconds remaining.
I am corrected on the third time. But so yeah, I feel like this Razor, I don't know, like you can now just put the Templar Assassin as a 1, you dodge the Razor into TA, match up mid, you can go like Queen of Pain or something that you're comfortable with, and just the Razor pick is really seeming to be an issue for
Dire
Patriots.
team ban.
They could honestly just Lena still, right? Like, but what's stopping them from going Alina? It's something that's capable of dealing with the Pango. Tiny, once he gets Shadowblade, is basically the only thing that
Radiant
you're too
team
concerned
ban.
about, right? But you are very capable of following up on a Hoodwink and a Sand King initiation. You're still going to go the basic Lena build, the Boots of Travel, quickly join into a lot of these team fights, use the burst potential to be able to catch out a lot of these people. And once you've got the BKB, you're not really concerned about Pango rolling through you.
10
It's just
seconds
controlling the
remaining.
Razor, and you've got a Treant Protector for that.
5 seconds remaining.
So what are the flaws that UDV need to cover with this last pick, with the 23rd? Is there anything that you really feel like stands out that needs to be addressed?
Just someone that's strong in lane against the Razor is what I would assume. It's the big thing for mine, and some tower push early on. So I feel like Lena covers both of those bases, and with a Pugna, you're not ganking it, right? So I think what Patriots need is something that's able to do that if they go for that Lena route, that early pushing aggression
Dire team pick.
capacity. But I don't know. I'm liking UDV's draft a little better at this stage.
Well, they
'Cause you can't run the tiny mid into a TA. You're just gonna get stomped.
they at least read what you were saying. Lena banned out, Necro
10
banned out, so they're
seconds
going to look to
remaining.
protect the Tiny in other ways, but
Radiant team pick.
UDV, they go into the Ember and Seb, so not a lot of control for Patriots overall to be able to deal with the Ember. It's going to be very reliant on Delors Pangoli, which he didn't have a good game one on.
Yeah, you're just gonna call him out like that, huh?
Straight up.
I mean, the Ember
10
Spirit's good. I
seconds
mean, TA,
remaining.
natural Desolator builder, Ember Spirit's gonna be able to take
You
advantage
now
of that.
select
And
your
is this
heroes.
a 4 tiny?
Yeah. Well, support Pango, but I think it's more than likely a support Tiny. Support Razor? Oh, it's a 3 Razor.
Uh, I mean, we've seen Lim play the Pango, so I'm not as concerned about that. And also, if you're picking this Treant Protector to counter a support Pango, then it's not as impactful. I'm just worried about this offlane Razor. Like I guess they don't have any like great ways at being able to stop him from linking. I mean, you got couple of slows, I guess, on the Treant Protector, but I feel like offlane Razor doesn't take over a game like a safe lane Razor does if you give him the right tools to be able to do so. But I mean, I like Mamang Daya's lane. I still have faith in the Tiny to be able to get a lot done. But I mean, who is Pugna actually replenishing this game? You know, like I feel like a lot of the damage coming through from UDV is burst, and so the medic style of Pugna isn't going to be great. And it's not like you're playing with a Storm or a other Spirit hero or a Lesh, just something that needs to be at full mana. Maybe the Tiny, right? If you go for like go something different, go an early Blink on the Tiny instead with an Echo Saber, and then try and make plays happen with maxed out Avatos, and then use that to kind of put a little bit more pressure onto the enemy side of the map, and then Pugna's there to just make sure you're always at full mana to go for that sort of combo.
I think the one shining spot for me about the Patriots draft is that it is a very good Batrider game. Your core to core matchups are solid. You great lane matchup versus the Ember. You're gonna have a very good time versus him. It's a big counter versus the Templar Assassin as well, with all the damage over time that you have. And they do not have any real answer to the Batrider. There's no hard dispel for Lasso. I really think the only thing they can do to prevent Mamang Daya from ever getting a good Lasso in fights is just using Overgrowth to kind of stop the Lasso drag back. So that's maybe how I'm looking for T here, how he looks to use it, if it's going to be to hold the Razor through BKB or the Penga roll or whatnot. But I think this is a very, very good Batrider pick. It's just a question if Mamang Daya can capitalize.
Yeah, and it's still a really good Treant Protector game, right? Like, against the Razor, Pango, honestly, even Tiny and Batrider, right? Like, it's pretty damn effective. The Living Armor's not going to do that much against a Tiny when he's hitting it onto the towers and even heroes, but it's Overgrowth is nuts. I feel like they don't need to change up much about how they go about prioritizing
30
farm on
seconds to
UDV.
battle.
Well, we'll see. UDV in Division 2, they're able to 2-0 Patriots, which was apes at that stage. So if anything is going to continue on with the previous series, then UDV are definitely in prime position. But of course, it is a different look with a different roster, or I should say different organization.
The battle begins.
As Lim, once again, we're going to have a little bit of battling going out, but Lim should be killed off. That was quite a questionable use of the Seal Crash, but Ken and Teehee aren't able to really continue the chase, so Lim just gets away with his life. He does also snag the bounty out of the face of UDV, so it's a 2 for 2.
Shouldn't at all. Did it perfectly. To run all the way back to base, though.
Long trek back in. So how can JG make this mid matchup somewhat playable against the Mamang Daya Batrider?
I mean, we've seen a lot of, you need to be like level 3 before you do it, but you use the Flame Guard and just the Slide of Fist to be able to actually fight away from the lane. So, like, pull the lane completely around into between your own towers, or you go and start to try and contest the wave between the enemy's tier 1 and tier 2 towers, just because Batrider, he's not the fastest at being able to clear waves on his own, right? And you need to make sure that you're getting the farm yourself. You can't just be one note in trying to find kills on the Ember Spirit and throw everything else out the window.
I think, what are you also expecting the Razor to look to itemize this game on a position 3 Razor? Is it anything different than what the 1 or 2 Razor would often go for?
I wouldn't think so. I would say still the BKB. Maybe the only other difference would be like a Lotus Orb instead as the second key item, because it's going to be very nice against the Sand King. It's going to be very nice at stopping the Searing Chains, the Overgrowth. Not even for yourself, right? It can just be popping it onto the Tiny to enable him in a lot of these early
Oh, this is a
games.
nice read. Look at them. Ken's in massive trouble. Doesn't have any refraction to play with. They brought him down to a critical threshold that Ken is forced to look to evade the area, but they're already with the level 2s. And that was all set up because Tiki, he looked to try and go pull the lane, but mainly because the Templar Assassin was requiring to stay to kill off the range creep. So they used that perfectly. There was an obligation for TA to get the kill, and that's when Patriots pounced.
It's a little bit deep here. His shield crash damage reduction's worn off, so they should be able to get a return kill, you would assume, on Ken. One more.
Nice. Very nice.
Feed me if you must. Deny.
Yeah, those sorts of instances are when you really need to be communicating in the lane, right? Saying, I'm going for this. Yes, you need to go for the range creep, but it's also just as important to draw aggro away from the lane and make sure that you're farming it closer to your own tower. How did Jikroy die?
Honestly, I was taking a sip of water. My hand was off the keyboard. Oh, no. I blame you. It's always your fault. You should have let me know that he was dying and somehow moved the camera down as Rapido and Lucifer find the second kill for UDV and off to a very good start. We saw Rapido have a solid game 1, but also as Lucifer in the lane, that was really important for him to get a decent amount out of that Dragon Knight as Lucifer might go down, but the tree throw slow is not enough to close the distance.
So annoying to fight into that Netherworld, though. It does reduce a lot of that damage output that's coming out, especially with heroes that you kind of know when a lot of this aggression is going to happen to. So you're able to preemptively place down that Netherworld. Still quite a long cooldown early on, though, as Zephyr doing a great job of bullying out this Pugna.
See, you almost got the kill as well if UK kind of slipped over that place down tree, which does Jikroy get? No, okay, still not a level in the toss, never mind. So Rapido is able to just slither away from Jikroy, but we see this lane back to kind of trading blows between Patriots and UDV.
Slim's doing a great job, though, on this top side of the map, right? He died that time after they got the kill onto Ken as well. They're going for it again. No refraction. They have the... Will it be enough to heal him up? Yes, it will. The Leech Seed just getting him away.
What's the play for them to get Ken through this laning stage? Because it does seem like now with more levels starting to be accumulated, the lane's not going to get any easier.
I mean, the thing is, you can't really leave the lane. Again, it was the same issue that I was talking about in the previous game where Tihi kind of needs to be there. You were a strong laning support, but taking the opportunity to go and potentially build up some stacks, which is what I would have been expecting. Maybe now with the wave actually pushing in quite heavily, that's when he can afford to do so, right? Because it's not like you're going to die on the TA. The Razor, kind of similar to what I talked about with the Batrider, does need to farm.
We are seeing that Tihi getting a double stack off by the outpost, even going to look to drop a ward down along with it. So making sure they can try and protect the Templar Assassin from farming that area.
He, of course, is going to be very happy to just park himself inside the trees and get a lot of that experience for himself.
Lane among Dire. Oh my GG! No, he used Lasso as well! Disaster of sequence of events as JG can TP back at the base. He's still got remnants to come to the lane as well. Wow, JG, that's huge because this is not a good lane matchup at all for the Ember.
No, it is not. And he is more than 200 net worth ahead now as a result of that. Would you call it a 1v2? I guess Lim didn't really have too much of an impact there on the team fight, but that he was able to secure that one. And never mind, I thought that was his sentry ward. I thought he might have been able to get a D ward off as well, but Observer just about to spire.
Are fortified.
Double bounty. Ooh. This lane is very playable now for JG with Orb Corrosion and maxed out Slide. In fact, they might get a kill him among Die with Lucifer stepping into the lane. See how low he's falling. Among Dire, one more Slide. Gonna be trading kills across the map as Teehee goes down. JG's got enough mana for the Slide. Looks like Lim's gonna kind of put him off the mark there. Will not continue chasing.
I mean, do you really want to be pushed out of the lane by an Ember Spirit as a Bat Rider? That is not the way that I would be looking to take things. And, well, the thing is, in return, they were able to get kills onto both of the supports in the other lane somehow, so going okay in the side lanes for the Patriots outside of this TA. I mean, she had a rough time in the lane, but because of a lot of that stacking that Tihi was able to do, she's still at the top of the net worth charts.
It's just kind of a big issue with how this mid lane's gone. You were mentioning that the Bat Rider should, in this matchup, really shouldn't be forced out of the lane. So seeing his net worth be at the bottom, and I think a Bat Rider, yes, you're going to have Ancients to fall back on, which it looks like Mamang Dyer is trying to take the moment, but maybe JG's even thinking about actually coming over. This is a really nice read from the Ember. Oh no.
It started, it's just about the timing.
Oh no.
One.
I think I got one. But
He
the
only got
experience is
one.
still important.
Radiant are scanning.
Level 8 for JG compared to the 7 on the Bat Rider. They do have a Swashbuckle available on Limb, but JG is going to continue to hunt with Slide up in a couple of seconds. They got one more extra Remnant to play with, but the T2 tower is doing a lot of damage at this stage of the game, and well, Mamang Dyer doesn't really have enough sticky napalm. Lucifer is nearby. If JG can get the Invis rune, get out of dodge.
Have the bottle, right? Like, he's just playing around, harassing out that lane. He says, well, I don't really need regen. I'm against a Bat Rider. All I need is the one. Finally does get the bottle delivered to himself.
They're going to go into low top. Yeah, they're going to try and take away as much damage as possible, but the meld out early puts the Razor in such an awkward positioning. They didn't even need Lucifer as well to step in. So this is big for Ken. He's had a solid lane, only one death, but he's well and truly on top of the net worth. And you know, we've seen what Templar Assassins can do, Danog, even though you can maybe answer in the draft. Like, this is still a hero that can farm at such a rapid rate.
Yeah, and I'm a little puzzled at his skill build as well. He didn't max out the static link first and foremost, and I kind of feel like when you're playing these heroes like, you know, the Queen of Pain or the Razor in the offlane role, you do need to be a little bit more of like the anti-carry style, just trying to bully them out, force them to buy more regen or their support to buy more regen, and just be a little bit less capable of farming.
Hello. Gonna get aggressive. If they kill the Razor again, this is a big issue. He's top of the net worth for Patriots, and he's going to go down with ease along with Lim. My, oh my, they don't even lose. Tihi is UDV. That is a perfect scenario for them.
They've always had such a strong early game, right? Like, even in that final series that they were playing, they were up by 10,000 or something like that, and a little bit more challenged at the end of it all. Oh no, he's not going to steal the regen away from the bat, is he?
Oh. And Mamang Dyer, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to step closer to T, who has the overgrowth, but a little bit hesitant is the Treant Protector. Was probably out of range to land at his bottom lane. It's going to be Repeater that goes down. Jikroy, along with Lim, with the Rolling Thunder, was enough to secure the kill.
And I really thought Tihi would go for that overgrowth. It's got a really big range, and you know, now that it's got that 75 damage per second, he would have got the kill onto the Bat Rider. Maybe just feeling like it's not so important to get a kill on a Bat this early on, considering they're already in the lead. Just try and secure it and prevent them from being able to team fight you and win an overall much more advantageous team fight rather than just go for the single pickoff.
Dude, look at JG. He's playing so aggressive. Just forcing Dalul to kind of come over. I guess it's closer to the camp that he wants to be farming, but JG's really loving having a decent start compared to what he was probably expecting when he saw the Bat pick.
And he's playing that magnet role that I was talking about, right? Like, look at how many heroes he's drawing towards this mid lane. We've seen the Pugna there, we've seen the Pango there multiple times. Bat Rider hasn't left the mid lane, and it just means that this TA is free to do whatever the hell she pleases.
And not only TA, but Rapido as well. He's almost got a Blink Dagger completed, and even might get a kill on Jikroy. They have nicely played. Cuts down the tree. Maybe with the slow, but it will not matter. Jikroy, beautifully done, is going to walk away and offer up his own hand as well. And mid lane though, Mamang Dyer, this is a really deep attempt. Lim's thinking about stepping in with a Rolling Thunder, but Ken cuts down any attempt with a mass amounts of damage from the meld.
He's gone to Blink Dagger super early on as well. So if they catch anyone inside,
They're gonna
some
dive
sort
to
of stun,
low.
you've got the searing chains. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You've got no one nearby to really protect the Razor once again. He'll take away all the damage it can, but it doesn't matter. UDV are in prime position at the start of this second game. Oh, they're gonna jump in the river! Oh my. Yeah.
Power of the Blink.
That's something you were asking for in the previous game when we saw Patriots having the Templar Assassin, but just a read from Ken to go for its second item. We've already seen it pay off.
Yeah, I think upon remembering back, like, maybe the Desolator wasn't the way that they needed to go in that previous game, just because it... Sure, you farm a little bit faster, but you just couldn't fight. Even towards the very end, right? He went for the Chrysalis, and it just felt like they wasn't able to connect in onto anything. Whereas this time around, I mean, look at what you're playing with. You're playing with an Overgrowth, you're playing with the Searing Chains, you're playing with a Bushwhack, you're playing with soon to be, assume for Rapido, a Blink Stun coming through. Yeah. So, yeah. All you need to do is follow up on that great setup from the rest of your team. You can do all the damage in the world, theoretically, but if you're not actually hitting someone, it doesn't happen.
Lane to Lul. They're going to reveal the blink on Rapido. UK's going to try and do whatever he can with the medic, which will force Rapido to use the epicenter. They did the mass beforehand, recognizing this wasn't needed, but with, of course, UK kind of... You know, they didn't calculate the health that Pugner was able to provide back, but nonetheless, they do get another kill. It's 4 deaths now on the position 3 Razor.
Oh, and Rapido, he's going to scout this out, gets the free kill onto the Pugner, and might even just say,
Top
hey.
lane. Wait, look at top. Tiki. He sets up to the Overgrowth, JG. Needs to hold at least some stun so Jikroy can't just TP out, and JG's doing just that. They'll kill off Rapido on the side. They're going to be a little bit hesitant about continuing to chase, especially with the threat of the rest of Radiant showing up.
They had to use the lasso on that one as well, and he really didn't need to on Mamang Dai. They had a great rolling thunder from him come through.
He's still playing aggressively top. The Lord's gonna look to close the distance. All they needed was one stun, and JG's gone. Jikroy's still falling lower and lower. He's gonna rely on the damage. The right clicks is enough to get the kill. But Delul, he hasn't stolen much damage. Oh, a buyback coming through from JG, but they feel like this is a team fight. They could set this game right into the hands of UDV, and with Rapido back alive, they get the full-up Burrow Strike. Now UK's next on the agenda. He's got enough damage to get the kill and even try and walk away off the back of the decrypt, but JG can instantly wait that one out. 5 down, a full wipe, and UDV continuing with their dominant start.
You're happy to expend a buyback if that's what results in it. I mean, it does push him towards the bottom of the core net worths, but look at what it means for the TA. Like, she is the win condition that you're playing around, and she has a 4,000 lead over this Tiny at 15 minutes.
Blink Dragonlance Desolator. Like you said, 15 minutes, that is a ridiculous timing with these items. Often you're expecting it around the 20 minutes, but the fact that Ken is already at this position, and look at the move from UDV. They're looking to play with the Templar Assassin and this lane ward that will scout out Jikroy. Rapido, it's all on him to be able to get the follow-up stun, and that's where they're easily able to provide plenty of damage. But still, Tiki is going to look to hold them back, and even better, Overgrowth kind of dampens the retribution that Patriots were trying to put out. They're kind of splitting up their damage. Some to the Razor, some to the Pango, but now with the Pangolier dead, they can put their attention solely on Delul. He's going to be healed up for a little bit of time. Mamang Dai is still thinking about stepping in, but he doesn't have any way to hold back. Lasso's out at the last second. Ken's falling pretty low. This is a big kill. A lot of net worth's going to be given over to the Bat Rider. But it looks like not. Oh, what? No! They still had the Nether Ward. They were able to kill off Rapido through that attempt. Mamang Dai just gets out of dodge. Oh, the sharpshooter. Can he line up perfectly? He can! Lose a fight. On point with the ultimate. Beautifully played.
Oh, that cheeky 220 damage that Sandking took from the Nether Ward. It does a lot. And finally, when the Pugner starts to get some points into the Decrepify, you see how much more prolonged these team fights are, right?
Radiant's
The
top
amount of
tower is under
additional
attack.
healing you're able to provide too.
Dire's middle tower
Just gave them
is
the
under
opportunity
attack.
to be able to get that return kill. Mumung Daya was the one to secure it, which is incredibly important as well, considering how he had fallen behind in that head-to-head matchup. And, well, that extra 1,000 gold, he's getting closer to his own BKB, which is pretty important at being able to counter out the likes of a lot of these stuns.
So we're looking for double BKB timings on Patriots?
Radiant's
Is that
bottom
kind of the big
tower
thing?
is under attack.
I suppose so. I mean, he, at least for mine, Jikro's gone the build that I
Radiant's
wanted to
bottom
see him
tower
go, this
has
more aggressive
fallen.
style with the
Mid lane JG.
hanger.
Crow's gonna look to jump the backline instead. Decent reveal the blink, but still, they gotta be a bit cautious in how long they stick around on UDV. There is a lot of damage being chucked out into the middle of the fight, and they will respect Patriots.
Really like that about Jikroy as well. He was on level 11, needing about 2 experience to level up, and immediately after he hits level 12 and gets that extra toss bonus damage, he goes straight in onto the Hoodwink, not wanting to give him any sort of options to be able to survive through it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're looking at
Radiant's
mounted
bottom
defense
tower is
top.
under
They only have
attack.
TPs on Hoodwink along with the Ember. So it's really gonna be all on Repeater to start these fights though. See, Jikroy, he's in. Repeater's not going to get caught by the Netherward, so he can blink follow up. But again, UK is such an issue for them. This life drain is keeping the Tiny alive. He's tanking every single ultimate, and Jikroy shrugs it off.
Yeah, that's just one of those. I was praising the timing of the Tiny waiting to go in when he had that key timing, which was that level 12 to make sure he would kill the Hoodwink. That time around, they go in for whatever reason, and the Courier was still 5 seconds away from delivering the Blink Dagger through to the Treant Protector. So I feel like if he has that, you overwhelmingly win that team fight. But because you weren't patient, not going to happen. And this is a big wraparound.
Oh my, it is too. I wonder if I can still take this fight. They did just get BKB on the Templar Assassin, but looks like losing the Hoodwink and not having their ultimates, it will not put them in a position where they're going to think about defending it.
If you could hold on to this tower for 19 minutes, even with a Treant Protector, you're pretty happy. You know, like it's created a ton of space for you to play around, and you can just see what TA's been doing with the space on the bottom side of the map, because she hasn't had a tier 1 tower for reinforcements on the Radiant side to contend against. She's level 18. She's still 5k net worth ahead now, a bit more than the Tiny, so she's still having a good time.
That she is. Radiant, they are getting towards the BKBs. You've got one on Dulul. Mumung Daya very close to an off gold for the recipe. And Tiny's going to be working on his BKB next too. So you will at least have 2 BKBs at the stage of 20 minutes in. But it's just a question of how Patriots can utilize this.
Yeah, even just having the Ogre Axe, right, as a Tiny strength hero, loves it. Gives him the extra HP to be able to play around, gives him the damage. They want to see him, like, he's fallen 6 levels behind the TA, though. 6. Like, that is a lot at the 20-minute mark, as they catch up, Pugno. It's fine. Like, that was a big rotation that they made, so they know they can't really play around this area of the map anymore, unless they went for a smoke, because the tower as well is starting to be pressured in a little bit with that fresh Desolator pickup on Ken.
Yeah, often it's fine losing a support, but the fact they're going to try and link this into a T2 tower as well, although Radiant are coming down to defend it.
Just with that Grove Bow and the Dragon Lance, though, it means
Oh,
TA
they're going to jump before they can get set up. Beautiful read from UDV. They have all the information they would ever desire to take that fight. JG was holding back Mumung Daya, so they knew where the Batrider was, and well, they just pounce instantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just played together with instant stun plus Hoodwink, and you're able to do so much. That time around, they had Ken there with his Blink Dagger to even further amplify things, and who have they found out this time? It's a Pango, another free kill, and with that team fight aspect removed from the pool, they're going to be like, oh, what? We haven't taken Roshard. It's 21.5 minutes in. We've got Desolator with 10 charges onto it. Why not take it out? Just wanting the double meld strike, I'm guessing. Yep.
If they go for UK though, oh, he's put the ward in a spot where it won't have any impact for the fight, but I guess they're not in a position to even think about defending the pit. So Ken will get the first ages of the game.
Even with all that space making that he's been doing, JG's doing a great job. You know, he's just died the once. Still has his dieback timer going, but he's ahead of the Bat Rider. He's ahead of the Razor. He's close enough to the Tiny, so a very nice game.
See how they can look to utilize the ages though. Jacroy's in a position, waiting on the higher ground. They don't have Blink on Limb to follow up, so it might have to be a toss back into the T2 tower. There's even a gem now on T here, so the Tree Protector feeling like Vision is going to be the aim of the game here throughout the next kind of span of time.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think that maybe that previous attempt on the top lane where they didn't get the kill with the epicenter is causing me a bit of distress, right? They made sure they were waiting.
Jacroy? Oh, you'd hate to use the BKB like this. It won't be required. Brute forcing in, trying to find a window. Signs of weakness, but UDV, they're able to reposition fast enough and not give them that opportunity.
That was so low. You can tell that they're tempted, but Mamang Daya in position. Not having the Blink Dagger, though, might make it suffer a little bit.
They gotta get kill off UK. Jacroy? Wait, Jacroy? That's an early BKB usage from Delul as well, but they're gonna drag back what an overgrowth, but I don't know if it matters too much. Ken, still trying to scurry away. Yes, it matters. That's all on Teehee to get Ken out of danger. The full retreat. They've sounded the horn. JG doesn't want to use the Ren, then he doesn't have the mana, but maybe he's just baiting. Rapido flies into the lane, but he doesn't have the damage. The BKBs protecting Mamang Daya. A 1-for-0, but UDV, they are without the resources to take this fight. So Lucifer will be chased down. A scurry to the TP out. Oh my. Just makes it. That could have been a grave team fight for UDV, but the fact that they only lose Rapido is at least a positive.
Yeah, Teehee, the man likes his Treant Protector. He's starting to fall into that illustrious company when we talk about the Treant Protector players in Southeast Asia. Certainly something to keep on the cards when looking to go and draft against UDV these days.
I mean, I think if you're drafting a Razor and a Pango together, it always is going to set up for this Treant Protector. You called it both times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lucifer will probably kill him.
They might even get Mamang Daya. BKB's still on cooldown for the Bat Rider.
Oh no.
So they're going to condemn into the grave as Bat's down for 60, and they do have a lane shoving in, so this might be a tier 2 tower soon to fall.
Yeah, when they went for that previous attempt, Patriots actually did it really well. They pulled the wave to the side, so the backdoor protection was still there. And so Ken was spending a lot of his time hitting into a backdoor protected tower. Didn't result in too much of anything, but as you can see, the laning stage strength...
They're jumping again instantly, but Jacroy! What a combo! Teehee once again still going to stall it out with the overgrowth. Rapido's able to get out of harm's way. You've expended the Aegis advantage, but Ken, he's still playing with the threat of the BKB. He's going to toss him closer to Delul. That's not the position he wants to be in as Radiant. Oh no, the toss. The disastrous attempt from them is now 3 down, no buybacks. Your base is soon to be in shambles.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, and the game is hard.
Radiant's middle tower
Immediately
is
comes
under
out
attack.
there from the Tiny just saying, well, maybe that wasn't the best play to be going for, but oh, still feeling confident enough to be pushing into this high ground. Just makes life so much easier for the supports to not have a
Radiant's
tower to
middle
contend
tower
with when you're
has
looking
fallen.
to go up into there because, you know, we've seen a few times now a clutch glyph of fortification when you're invading onto high ground, those multi-shots onto a bunch of heroes. It's still relatively early into the game, so it can dish out a whole lot against them.
I don't know, man. Teehee's doing way too much. I feel like you have to kill off the Train Protector at the start of these fights, but I don't know how you're going to do so. It's JG that they're looking to aim. He's got the gem as well, so there's a beautiful target, but JG, he gets away. The grasping hands, they wanted to kill him off. They weren't able to do so. So now they're trying to turn to Rapido, but a BKB Burrow Strike. Rapido's out of there. Lim wanting revenge, wanting to catch any stragglers. Wait, Ken? Now he's under Observer Ward. He's going to jump into the lane. He still has the BKB.
That is
They don't have a
deep.
lasso,
What the
so
hell?
Ken might just BKB TP up, but Refraction's on cooldown. Oh no.
I mean, that's just a bit clowny. Unforgivable to be that deep when you know the rest of your team is backed off. They wouldn't have gone for that kill either.
Rapido's
here in
going for a
an
solo.
epicenter,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a position 4, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But I suppose it's important to keep that unreliable gold from being taken away, considering he has gone a long time without actually adding to his effective item.
Is that a moral victory in a way? Or maybe just keeping the confidence up, at least you're getting a kill across the map? Oh, they want... Woo! Rapido! It's a hell of a Burrow Strike, but without Ken's damage, they don't have ways to go through the BKB. TA can definitely hold them back. Maybe giving Rapido a window to try and TP out is going to make it. Doesn't tick to the flame break, it looks like. Nice read from Rapido. But the rest of the team, T's going to be chased down. And Luzify is next up among Dire. Lane break's not going to be able to push him back, so Luzify should escape.
He even went for the chop again on Jikroy to try and get rid of that bushwhack tree. That was, again, Teehee making sure that his Sand King was able to survive. Pop the overgrowth there so they didn't have the right-click damage to kill him as he was making the TP escape.
You'd love to get this tower, but Ken's back alive, so I think you have to respect the Templar Assassin, and Jikroy is going to try and do that. With defensive BKB, he'll be okay. Down to 6 seconds, but it's UDV that's continuing to hunt.
They're going for Delul.
They'll get it. Looks like there's going to be no contestation for Patriots, so feed him to the Wolves.
I mean, the net worth isn't exactly growing that much in recent times. Like, it's still very strong win probability towards UDV, which you would come to expect, right? You've got a TA pretty decent against the Tiny, even super later on. It's kind of depend on what neutral items they get as well. I mean, if the Tiny's able to get his own Titan Sliver, that's pretty vital.
Radiant are scanning.
I think another big thing is that you do have the Blink Dagger now on Lim, which gives you another opportunity to start these fights. You were kind of reliant on the Jikroy Blink and even Mamang Daya Blink as well, but at least you now have another window of opportunity to start.
I'm going to need him to hold that Quickening Charm, though, instead of the Ocean Heart, even the Ring of Aquila. Nope.
Smoke
Going
up.
in.
Oh, just getting out. Do they have vision for Rapido, though?
Razor's got a gem.
Smoke's gonna pop. Lasso finds Rapido. A high-value target. And they'll get rid of it instantly, or will they? Rapido just dies of the combo, but look at the call from UDV. They're looking to back up to their to the Radiance Triangle.
DD, though.
Jikro's gonna bottle it. Maybe they can fight off the back of the DD, even though they have the numbers advantage as well. You see UDV, 11,000 net worth lead, but they're content. Jikroy gets the jump. The chain control needs to be perfect, and it is. Off the back of the double damage rune, Jikroy has plenty to go through, just the Avatos, and this will force UDV to evacuate away.
So he's got buyback again, but I'm pretty sure that's his dieback timer still from the first one that he was used. So it's all the way up at 90 plus seconds and quite a while until he rejoins. So luckily enough for the Patriots, Roshan about to respawn in another 5. The first one that's going to get that information, though, is going to be UDV.
I'm not opposed to taking the occasion.
Stay in the pit! Nice, Jikroy's on the ball. Now, you've got Sand King back up, so Epi, overgrowth potential. And they're going to show that they have the recognition, but maybe Patriots just commit. I mean, you can buy back if you want on Ember. Are they going for it? Rapido charging up the Epi. He's going to jump in, but only gets a stun on one, but it's plenty of damage as Jikroy. No opportunity to utilize the BKB, so it's all going to be on Delul. to try and offset some of the damage onto UDV, but he's getting chain controlled. His BKB's expired. They're just watching the Razor from afar, and now they can kill him off thanks to the sharpshooter. Delo is able to jump to the right side. He'll be okay. Back towards the river, Mamangdaya. In a duel with Rapido.
Has to be careful. I mean, you've expended almost everything now on the Batrider. You haven't used the lasso, but no Firefly, and taking such a long cooldown means that Blink Burrow Strike is going to be back available, and it means that he needs to back off entirely. That second Roche over to UDV, and going to be more than happy to give the Shard over to the Ember Spirit. She already had hers.
The big thing though is
a perfect game by any means by UDV, but they're playing reasonably well. You know, waiting for a lot of their timings and playing around that.
Yeah, I think they've also done a very good job with their itemization. I think the Nullify is the big one on Ken. We've seen the Pugner as being quite an issue, and he's itemized very defensively. Glimmer Cape, Force Staff. So I mean, these items are going to be completely
top tower is under attack.
nullified, if you want to say, in a way.
You're just searching for the word that fit the situation.
No. I thought of the word instantly, but I didn't know if I wanted to say it or not. I'm like, you know, we got Danog.
You can have no shame.
Yeah, no shame. Well, it was kind of some shame. I hesitated, so it was a bit obvious.
Radiant's top tower.
Man, they want to fight. I don't know. You need a lot of vision.
13 refraction instances as well.
First to 25. The second highest is Mamangdaya. 22 on the Batrider. But yeah, this is going to be difficult for them to be able to find a way back into this game. Patriots down 1 game in the closed qualifiers.
Got a tome available for them as well on UDV, which could bring the Sand King up to level 20.
Ken showing. What? Oh, we got the silence off! Oh my, Ken with the Mindbreaker hit! They weren't expecting that at all. Lim's gonna be forced to use the defensive Rolling Thunder, but Mamangdaya is even buying back as well. So now they're gonna get usage out of the Rolling Thunder. T here will put a stop to that, but Ken might still be in trouble. Great timing with the Lotus Orb. He's still also protected with the Refraction, so Ken is out of there. And UDV completely waste the buyback from Mamangdaya.
Kind of lucky that he was silenced as well, because the Lotus Orb was on point as well, coming through from UDV, so he would have ended up just lassoing himself and being held in position, perfectly capable of the follow-up damage coming out from Sand
no,
King.
Jikro's under a ward, under the trap, and UDV, a quick play for them to look to put the Tiny into the grave, but a BKB TP out. Ken's gonna come to provide the damage, but he doesn't have enough. But the rest of Patriots, they've overstepped the boundary trying to protect their carry. But it's going to put them in a position where UDV can start to clean up as Delo just surviving on a slither of health. But Ken, he's still got the blink to close the distance as UDV find 2 that don't have buyback.
They also find a high ground without backdoor protection, and the next wave coming in very shortly. Age is still to play around for the next 2 minutes. They can just continue to park themselves up here and at least get 1 free lane.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks has
So what's the play? Toss back into lasso further back?
Into Flame Break, into Force Staff, into Fountain.
They're going to respect them. Okay.
Why? Oh, okay. Respect? Wow. Such a foreign concept here.
Foreign concept, UDV. They got a 20k net worth lead, brother. They got Aegis as well. I thought they were going to put him in the grave.
It's a tiny, right? Like, you don't want to take a bad fight into a tiny.
Ken? Oh my. Those are some... They are reactions of a Zoomer, something that you would not have anymore with your old age.
Mm-hmm. The arthritis is kicked in.
Oh no, not the arthritis in the hands. I think they saw... No way. They saw Jikroy in this really awkward trap positioning. So they're starting to move to top. Jikori's gonna run into Rapido. Ken's got a haste to close the distance as well. Rated though a little bit too late to the party. Jikroy standing his ground, protect with the BKB. It's a rolling thunder that's completely wasted as Ken just pummeling into the tiny, but look at the drain. Jikroy's still alive. Now Delul showing up, completely taking away the damage from Ken. So they've killed off the first lab, back into the tree line. Jikroy will finally be killed off to JG, but how can they set themselves up for round 2? As Ken, he's got the damage this time, just standing his ground, throwing side blades left, right, and center as Mamang Dio would just escape, but Jikroy brought back. The tiny brought back.
Yeah.
He tried to get back involved, but he was so far away from the action.
You just can't do that. You know, now your high ground defense is like the element of surprise is kind of wasted. And I'm not exactly sure what you
Radiant's
expect to
middle
do in these
barracks are
team
under
fights
attack.
without a BKB as well. So buying back seems like a
Radiant's
huge
middle
waste.
barracks has fallen.
Also, the fact that he's not defending this wave, pushing into mid, kind of reveals everything you need to know about his positioning. Look at the ping.
They saw him. They saw him on the trap. BKB still on cooldown for 10. He's going to run to another trap. Jikroy was trying to maybe solo kill Ken, but that's a dieback on the tiny. And maybe it's just some inexperience coming out.
Yep. Just cannot do that. I think there's a few things that probably needed to change about Patriots. Of course, the Bat Rider lane didn't go anywhere near as well. They were very stubborn picking this Razor Pango style again, and it didn't work out for them. And there have been a few times now that Jikroy in particular has been caught farming underneath some wards. So I think maybe just a team prerogative to say, look, I'm going to be farming here in the next 5 minutes. Ward for me, because I can't just be standing and revealing my position entirely to the rest of the team.
Are you surprised they're not going with this wave?
A little bit. Maybe just wanting to wait for the...
Oh, well, Rapido's in. Ken instantly following up as well, but the hell, but before the BKB, they do a very good job at UK on the back line. They're controlling up JG, but it's going to be okay because it's always Tiki, the savior, from game 1 over to game 2. He's transitioning with an incredible performance. And now UDV looking to finally put him in the grave for this last time. But a Decrep holds him back, the Nullifier a little bit too late. The Hellbits have always proved to be issues here from Ken. So they have withstood the dieback on the Tiny. Oh, I say that. Ken's in. Let's look at the last right click.
15 seconds left to play with, but they've got nothing. No Rolling Thunder. They've got the Nether Ward, but that's not going to do too much to stop you from losing your rack. So it's not the greatest for UDV, but they still are able to take one more lane.
Yes. With all that going on, it was the dieback death timer on the Ember, but he already has buyback available, so... But he will be down for 70 seconds. Been very impressed with JG, even though we saw him have a very difficult game. Somehow he's second in net worth, even with those 2 buybacks, because for quite some time he was the lowest net worth out of all the cores, but he's well and truly recognized his role.
Double damage.
D now on Ken. The next set of power runes are actually able to spawn, and it is Bot, Illusion, Pretty Garb, and they've also got the Harpy Creep. I mean, come on. Does that push
Rapido's
them
in.
up to 100? Yeah.
They need to try and deal with the Pugna, because UK's always an issue, but maybe they don't need to worry about that with the double damage. Ken cleans off the life of the Tiny. Now he's going to look to stand his ground. Yes, you've got the static link, but is that really going to do too much with the help of the double damager? And as Ken, oh, he's going to be okay. T is in with a triple overgrowth. And now the cleanup crew has arrived. Rapido, a double burrow strike is this one. You got 2 buybacks, Mamang Dying up a couple of seconds, but UDV will take the series 2-0 to open up our night.
How could you give MVP to anyone except Teehee for that? I mean, you could argue Ken, just because he was that far ahead in net worth, but a lot of it was because of Teehee, right? Like, he enabled him to get some kills in the lane that they probably shouldn't have. He stacked, he made overgrowths happen. It was a really, really good performance, and that's probably the thing that I've been most impressed by from UDV's end. The safe lane seems to go a lot better than I expected to.
Yeah, like you mentioned throughout that game was UDV. I think the one shining spot for them through DPC was they were looking very good throughout their lanes. Of course, that last series versus Lilgun, I think it was, where they had the first game one, game two. They had a very hefty lead, but unfortunately they weren't able to capitalize on it. It was just one thing that they're continuing on with this game is just the factor of your lanes. Go from your lanes, go from there, prove to be something that is maybe something that Patriots have to look at. But I think the big thing, at least for Patriots, it's double elimination. So they will have a second chance. They are going to be facing the loser of Motivate and Yangon Galacticos, which is our next series. And that one is going to be about a 15-minute break before we have Motivate versus Yangon underway. So get some food, get some water, whatever you need to set yourselves up for our second series of the night. And we'll see you guys shortly.